Here's the no-fluff truth. Not every sublimation printer is worth the hype, and picking wrong can waste ink, blanks, and time fast. In this deep dive, each pick is ranked from 7 to 1, with hands-on style notes about color vibrancy, paper handling, ICC profiles, and real-world output on mugs, shirts, and photo panels. Stay to the end for the model that nails wide format, rich blacks, and low running costs without driver drama. Number 7. Epson EcoTank ET 2800. For beginners on a tight budget, the EcoTank ET 2800 is often the first conversion into sublimation. And yes, it can work if filled with third-party sublimation ink from day one, so the original dye ink never touches the lines. The appeal is simple. SuperTank refills are cheap per page, setup is easy, and the built-in LCD plus Epson's Smart Panel app make nozzle checks and alignments straightforward. In day-to-day use, it gets decent color on polyester shirts and standard mugs once dialed in with the right paper and timed temperature on the press. Color fidelity is good enough for hobby jobs, but the default output tends to skew a bit muted in blues and reds unless ICC profiles are tuned, and darker tones can compress in shadow areas on coated ceramics. Expect some trial prints to hit the sweet spot, especially when converting RGB designs to a CMYK device. Screens will look punchier than transfers until you calibrate expectations and profiles. The maximum resolution and micro piezo head can lay down fine detail, but consistency depends heavily on regular use to avoid clogs. Where it stumbles is speed and build latitude. It's a small home printer at heart, so throughput on multi-item batches is slower, and paper handling can be finicky with heavier sublimation sheets through the rear feed. The warranty is effectively voided once non-Epson sublimation inks are used, which removes a safety net for head issues. If that risk is acceptable, it remains a solid entry path for custom tees, mouse pads, and single-off mugs. Just don't expect lab-grade color out of the box. Number 6. Canon Selphy CP1300. The Selphy CP1300 is a dye sublimation thermal transfer printer, but it's purpose-built for 4x6 photo prints on proprietary media, not for sublimation transfers onto shirts or hard goods. In testing, its 300 by 300 DPI output with 256 levels per color produces smooth, lab-style mini photos with a protective overcoat, which is great for snapshots and booths. However, it's locked into postcard-sized paper and isn't compatible with sublimation transfer paper or heat press workflows for apparel, mugs, or slates. Color quality on its own media is consistently pleasing with minimal banding thanks to true dye sub passes, and the gloss finish holds up well to handling. But as a sublimation printer in the crafting sense, it simply isn't the right tool. No ICC work, no transfer paper path, and no way to press those images onto polyester blanks. Trying to repurpose it for transfers is a dead end because the system fuses dyes into the supplied photo stock during printing, not onto a carrier sheet for heat pressing. The portability and ease of use are genuine strengths, and if postcard prints are part of an event or studio workflow, the Selphy earns its keep. For heat transfer sublimation, though, it won't enter the ring, and money is better spent on an inkjet conversion or a purpose-built sublimation unit. In short, fantastic 4x6 dye sub photo printer, but not suitable for sublimation transfers for apparel or hard goods. Don't buy it for that use case. 5. Epson Expression Photo HD XP15000. Moving into true photo quality, the XP15000 uses 6 dye-based Claria Photo HD inks, notably adding red and gray instead of light cyan and light magenta, which expands gamut and helps neutral black and white output on glossy media. In practical testing, reds and deep neutrals look excellent, and this compact 13x19 machine is fast enough for batch photo runs. For sublimation users, it's still a conversion scenario with third-party inks, but the head and 5760x1440 optimized DPI can deliver crisp micro detail on fine text and complex vector art. The biggest plus is color richness. Graphics with scarlets, oranges, and flesh tones pop, and grays avoid color casts better than typical 4-color engines. That translates well to transfers on high-poly tees and premium mugs where saturation sells. However, being cartridge-based means higher running costs than EcoTanks unless going off-brand, and careful management of profiles is necessary when switching from Claria to Sublimation inks to maintain neutrality. Paper handling supports wide-format sheets through the rear tray, which is helpful for larger gang sheets of transfers up to 13 by 19, and setup is straightforward with Ethernet, Wi-Fi, and USB options. The compromise is that it's not designed as a sublimation printer, so clog risk rises if it sits idle, and Epson's cartridge lock-in officially discourages third-party ink use. Keep it printing weekly and flush lines if pausing. Real-world transfers exhibit sharp edges and saturated fills, giving it an edge for photo-heavy designs on apparel or coated panels. Number 4. Brother SP1 Sublimation Printer. This is a true, purpose-built sublimation printer from Brother, not a conversion, and that matters for reliability and support. The SP1 ships with CMYK sublimation inks and letter-size sublimation paper in the box, a 2.7-inch touchscreen, and modern connectivity including Wi-Fi Direct, Ethernet, and USB, making setup painless. In real use, color output on polyester garments, mugs, and aluminum panels is vivid and consistent, and the device integrates with Brother's ArtSpira ecosystem for easy template-based design. Print resolution up to 1200 by 2400 dpi gives transfers clean edges and smooth gradients, and maintenance is low touch compared to conversions because the ink system and firmware are tuned for sublimation from day one. For small shops, that means less tinkering and more predictable batches. The compact footprint fits on a standard desk, and the 100-sheet input keeps reloads manageable during short runs. The included starter supplies are genuinely useful to get printing immediately, and compatibility with current Windows and macOS versions reduces driver headaches. The 2-year limited warranty adds peace of mind missing from DIY conversions, especially if a head issue pops up. For creators who value stability and support, this alone can justify the upgrade from a budget EcoTank conversion. If there's a limitation, it's media size. Letter capacity means larger format projects require tiling or a different model, and the ecosystem leans into Brother's software stack. Still, for A4 LTR scale production, it's a turnkey, dependable option that produces punchy, sale-ready transfers. 3. Epson EcoTank ET 15000. The ET 15000 is the conversion many small businesses graduate to because of its wide format capability. Prints up to 13 by 19 via the rear feed, and borderless up to 11 by 17 with an ADF for everyday scanning and copying. As a supertank, ink costs per transfer are very low, and the 4800 by 1200 resolution is more than sufficient for apparel graphics and signage scale designs. In testing with reputable sublimation inks, colors came out vibrant and repeatable across shirts, tumblers, and slate, especially after installing the correct ICC profiles. Setup is approachable via Wi-Fi, Ethernet, and USB, and mobile printing options streamline the workflow from design apps. The larger print area unlocks profitable gang sheets and bigger graphics, minimizing seams and press alignment headaches. Compared to small EcoTanks, it holds registration better on wide sheets when the rear feed is loaded correctly, and its transport path handles standard sublimation papers without curling when humidity is controlled. The cons are the usual conversion caveats. Using third-party sublimation ink can void ink-related warranty coverage, and it may take time to perfect color with custom ICC profiles across different papers and blanks. That said, once dialed in, it's a workhorse that cranks out consistent transfers at a scale entry-level units struggle to match. For small shops expanding SKUs, think full-front jerseys, oversized tote panels, and multi-mug gang sheets. The ET 15000 strikes a rare balance of capacity, cost control, and quality. It's often the point where side hustles become steady production. The best value, wide-format conversion for creators who need 13 by 19 flexibility with low running costs and reliable output after profiling. 2. Sawgrass SG500. Purpose-built for sublimation, the SG500 delivers predictable, accurate color with official drivers, Sawgrass Print Manager, and ICC handling that takes the guesswork out of profiles. In use, it's simply smoother. Automatic maintenance cycles keep nozzles ready, and print modes span from fast 600 by 600 up to ultra-fine photo at the driver's 4800 by 1200 setting for intricate art. This consistency translates into fewer misfires, less waste, and professional-grade results on apparel and hard substrates. Media size tops out at 8.5 by 14 by default, but a bypass tray extends length to 51 inches, which is excellent for long designs or multiple small transfers in a strip. Connectivity is robust with USB and Ethernet, and the platform supports modern Windows and macOS environments reliably. The footprint is compact but rugged, and the 2-year warranty plus lifetime tech support provide real backup if something goes sideways mid-production. Color out of the box is the best part. Reds, cyans, and skin tones land right where expected with minimal tweaking, making it ideal for shops that value repeatability over tinkering. Print speeds are practical for small to medium runs, especially in high-quality mode where line art stays crisp without banding. If wider media is required, this is the main limitation, but many stores happily run two: one SG500 for volume of smaller items and a wide format for big graphics. For single-unit workflows emphasizing reliability, the SG500 is hard to beat. Class-leading, supported sublimation printer with superb color management, smart maintenance, and optional long sheet capability. 1. Epson EcoTank Photo ET8550. Topping the list, the ET8550 brings 6-color EcoTank efficiency to photo-grade output with dedicated photo black and gray, in addition to CMYK, giving it superior tonal control and richer blacks than 4-color tanks. In practice, transfers carry excellent shadow detail and neutral grays that don't drift magenta or green, a common pain point in apparel sublimation. The 5760 by 1440 maximum resolution and 1.5 picoliter droplets produce exceptionally fine gradients and microtext that hold up even after pressing. Media handling is versatile, and the flatbed scanner plus modern app support makes it a capable studio hub beyond sublimation. For transfer work, the wide format capability and consistent droplet placement reduce banding risk across larger designs, and once profiled with a reputable paper, colors come out punchy and repeatable. The tank system keeps costs low over time, making high-volume runs more profitable without constant cartridge swaps. Real-world output on premium mugs, slates, and high-poly tees shows deep blacks and smooth skies, with gradients that look more photo than graphic, especially where gray ink stabilizes neutral ramps. This gives the ET8550 an edge for boutique apparel brands, photographers selling merch, and makers who value image fidelity as much as saturation. Setup and daily use are painless with touch controls and app connectivity, and while it's still a conversion in the sublimation context, its print engine behaves like a mini photo lab once inks and ICCs are set. If the choice is one machine to level up color quality and keep costs predictable, this is the standout. Final thought. That's all for today, folks.